Now I'm going to create the qryLinneyMovies query. And the first step in doing this is to go into the query design view by selecting the create ribbon and then clicking on query design and adding the tables that I need in order to create the query. In this case, I know that I need the stars table because I need the star ID, first name, and last name. And I know I need the studios table because I need the studio name field. And as with the previous query, you'll notice that there's nothing connecting these two tables together, so I need to connect them. And so I'm going to refer back to the chart on the very front page of the assignment and recognize that I need the movie star table and the movies table to be in the query to connect the stars to the studios. And so I'll close the show table dialog, and once again, just so that everything's nice and organized for me, I'll rearrange things so that I can see the tables in their proper format. And this rearrangement looks quite a bit like the diagram at the front of the assignment. Now I'll add the fields. I need the star ID, I need the first name, last name, and the studio name in my grid. Now if I run the query, I end up with a list of all the stars and which studios have produced movies that the stars have been in. In this particular query, I really only need the qryLinneyMovies, so I'm going to look real quick and make note of the fact that Laura Linney's ID is number 3, and then I'm going to switch back to design view. For this query, I need to set up a criteria. And what I need to do is for star ID say that I only want movies with Laura Linney's star ID, number 3. Now I had to find that value by looking at the data because the star ID field is an auto number field, and depending on which order I entered records, the ID could very easily have been a totally different number. But in this case, since I just verified it was number 3, I can put that in as the criteria. I could also do things like put equal 3, but the equal is implicit in this case. So now when I run this query, I should only get one movie, or one entry for Laura Linney. That's the HBO John Adams miniseries, and that's what I get. One last thing is I do not want to actually show the star ID field in my query results. And so I will uncheck the show box here, checkbox, and run the query one more time. And now I just get the first name, last name, and the studio name. And so I can save this query. I'll give it the appropriate name. And save it. Now, just to illustrate though, if I did not use the star ID, I could potentially have put Laura Linney's names in, or name in the first name and last name fields. However, this is not the best strategy for locating a particular person's entries, because there might conceivably be multiple Laura Linneys in the world. And this would, if our database contained multiple Laura Linneys, result in inaccurate data. But this is kind of a close way to get the movies. So if I run this, I still end up with the same entries. But the preferred method is to use the star ID because that narrows it down to one particular star, and even though it results in the same output. So that's our qryLinneyMovies query, and I'll save this just because I don't remember if I saved it after making some changes. And so that's that query.